Hey guys, and welcome back to Doom. We've shown you the basics now, so it's time to take off the training wheels and really start to tear and or rip. You see, it's not the same thing, I switched it around there, and that's exactly what the game is going to do. It's going to be throwing more imps at you, it's going to be throwing more possessors at you. We're not really going to get into the realm of cyber demons just yet, so don't worry. It's not that kind of a game with difficulty spikes and whatnot until you get to level 3, but more of that in part 3.
You do bring up a good point though in terms of how the new enemy types are kind of spaced out. They're not always introduced in the same way that the imp was in the first part, but for most of the enemies they kind of give you like this segue into a cutscene where, you know, they get to be all badass and scary before you actually get back into the action. And one thing this game does great is that when there's a new enemy, it introduces it and then it just keeps throwing it at you until you kind of get used to it. And then after a while, later on, those enemies become more commonplace, and before long, an enemy that you were perhaps struggling to beat one of to begin with, you're suddenly taking care of 3 of them like they were nothing more than general rabble, almost. That's something I think this game does amazingly, because it doesn't throw too much at you at once. It always says, okay, here's something new for you to try your wits against, and we're just going to keep throwing it at you maybe 1 at a time, maybe 2 if we're feeling fruity. But it never really overwhelms you so much that it becomes an impossible feat. It's always one of those things where, damn, this new thing killed me, that's okay. I can try him again, try and recognize sort of what his pattern is, and come up with a way to best defeat them.
Well, we'll test that theory next part, but for now, I guess we just have to restore power to the facility. Is that what the thing was? I was mostly paying attention to you curb-stomping fools.
Yes. We are trying to restore power to the facility to gain access to the rest of it. And hopefully from there get some answers as to what the hell is going on, because of course, as the Doom guy, we pretty much just woke up, there's immediately demons, and we have to kill them all. We don't really know exactly what we're doing here, why we're here, and you know, what our motive is, or how things got to be as bad as they are, so we're kind of in the process of looking for answers at the moment.
That was a piss-poor attempt at getting the twofer objective completed back there, by the way. I did it first try, thank you very much.
Yes, I know, I saw the live stream as well. Sometimes it's a bit tricky though, because you gotta line them up just right, and sometimes it just accidentally happens and, you know, you just get it like that. Sometimes you can try all day and you'll never actually get it. Such is life, I suppose. So yeah, we have now been introduced to Olivia Pierce, who looks a bit like a demonic, like, crazed Anne Robinson or something, I don't know.
Oh my god.
But she's pretty much the main antagonist of the game. She was the one who invited the demons to our world for a nice human feasting. And, yeah. Without getting too much into her backstory, she was working on the UAC Lazarus project alongside Samuel Hayden, who's that big lumbering robot that we saw in one of the little talky bits in part 1. But she got tempted by the demons that were in Hell, and, you know, she was studying Hell to kind of find out more about and see if there's some way that they could make a new energy resource from the materials in Hell, I guess, for lack of a better descriptive term.
Yeah.
But then the demons came along and whispered, hey, we can give you all sorts of cool shit if you let us in. And, yeah, that's basically Olivia Pierce's motive. She was promised unlimited power, immortality, to become a god among mere mortals, and all she had to do was find a way to open up a portal over here and, you know, invite the demons over for a bit of lunch.
Well, thanks Olivia, you have well and truly fucked us.
It was one of those things, it was like a long con as well, that this was done over the process of several decades, rather than, you know, it wasn't like, oh, in a year suddenly the demons are here. She was in this for ages, trying to figure out ways in which to get the demons over here and, you know, merging our world with theirs, etc, etc.
But you're trying so hard to get this achievement unlocked.
I know, I was getting so frustrated towards the end, but I do get it eventually, don't you worry. It takes a bit, but I get there.
you did, like, equip the explosive charge thingamabob, right? That does wonders for getting that objective.
Now, you see, I thought so too, but from the way it said it, I thought it meant by having just, like, the one trigger pull of a normal shotgun blast rather than, you know, the grenade feature.
Ugh.
I'm not sure whether that was the case or not, but I could have swore I was using the grenade on some of those dudes and it wasn't counting it. So I thought, well, I guess I gotta get them with the standard shotgun blast.
I swear, Volk, you're such an ignorant slut sometimes.
I can't help it, it's just the way I am. So here I'm trying to find the best way because I know that there's a secret up here. I just gotta figure out exactly how to get it. And it ain't easy, because obviously you don't even know that there's a secret up there unless, you know, you're looking intently. I had a guide for finding a lot of these, so I'm kind of thinking, okay, so I know there's a secret up here, I just need to find out how to get to it. So some of these sections require a bit of tricky platforming in order to get to, but luckily your reward is just and nostalgic, so it's always worth going for.
So whenever you find one of those doors, you'll know there's a lever nearby, essentially.
Yeah, kind of. Some of the doors are less obvious than others, though, but generally speaking, if you see a door like that, you know that there's a secret somewhere close by. Sometimes they're more spaced out than others, but especially for the ones near the beginning, they're pretty close to... the entrance is usually pretty close to the lever, so...
oh man.
Just checking around the general area is usually enough.
The juxtaposition between the new graphics and the old graphics is really jarring, but in a good way, I'd say.
I can distinctly remember the first secret I saw, because when I played through this game blind on the livestream about a year ago, the first one I found was actually in the third stage, and it is really, really jarring when you're coming out of one of those stages and just suddenly you're going away from all the weird pixely graphics to like this hugely detailed world, and it's a bit like, wow. It fucks with your brain so hard, but there's a sense of whimsy about it that you just can't help but admire.
I think it's something from more modern FPS shooters. The arena battle. Have at it, Volk.
I absolutely love these. Some people will say to me, oh no, the thing of modern gaming and all that, and stuff. No, it's fantastic! And it makes sense in like the context as well. In the original Dooms, they had this thing where, you know, you enter a room and there's a bunch of enemies waiting for you. And, you know where the enemies are immediately, and you can kill them all, and, you know, be continuing on your way. With the arena-based thing, you can enter an empty room, and, like, the idea is that you can kind of get your bearings of, like, where you can walk around, where you can jump towards, and things like that. But then the moment you hit that trigger, things are spawning all over the damn place, and you're immediately thrown into a frenzy of... I guess part wanting to kill everything that moves and part panic. And that's not really something you can replicate just by walking through a door, here's a bunch of enemies for you to kill. So I absolutely love the these little arena sections. They are probably my favourite, even if they do tend to kill me more times than I care to admit.
Oh, well, the problem there, Volk, is you need to get good, I think.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely true. I mean, I love this game, but I don't really play it too often. It's like one of those things where I'll come back to on occasion and be like, oh yeah, I haven't played this in a while, so yeah, I kind of don't know where everything is, and I can kind of come into it fresh again, in some vague sense of the word.
Yeah, I'm like that too. Like, I love Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, but I'll be damned if I'm playing it more than like once every year or so. I like to savour my favourites.
Exactly. And I feel like Doom is definitely one of those games. I think maybe with something like an FPS, you can get away with playing it maybe once a year as opposed to an epic RPG like Xenoblade Chronicles was. Yeah, it's a game I wish I could just play more and just be like... At one point, I want to try and beat this on Ultra Nightmare just to see what that's like, because...
oh my god.
I've heard the horror stories about it, and it's just something I want to experience.
So, we got ourselves a chainsaw now, eh?
Oh yes, we do. I'm not sure if I use it like immediately, but there's definitely points where I use it later on in the level. There are some enemies in this game that it's just asking for a good hearty snog with the chainsaw.
Oh yeah, Hell Knights and guys with shields specifically.
Oh, the guys with shields, I always make sure I have at least a couple of pips in reserve to bring those guys down, because it only costs one, and it saves you so much trouble as opposed to just trying to shoot through their shield, which obviously doesn't really work all that well. Hey, there you go, finally got the twofer.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud!
Okay, that's... You don't need the theatrics. I know it took me longer than perhaps someone else would probably get it in, but, you know... It's just me, I guess. Sometimes it takes me a bit longer to comprehend things like this.
Alright, what we aiming for now, Volk?
Well, we've been kind of stymied by this yellow keycard door, so we need to figure out how the hell we're going to get through there. So my first port of call was to check out some of the crawl spaces around here, so have a good look around, and this is usually how you find secrets. This is me forgetting how to crouch on a fucking keyboard. I'm so used to it being shift for a lot of games, but of course shift's your goddamn grenade launcher. Crouch is actually bound to C on the keyboard, which I suppose makes sense now when you think about it. But when it's been shift for so long when you're sort of like playing PC FPS games, like you kind of think, oh yeah, shift. Oh wait, that's the grenade.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's circle, I believe, on PS4. That's the version I've been playing. I can't believe it's actually coming to Switch.
Yeah, that's something I found incredibly odd, you know, Nintendo, family-friendly console. But then again, I suppose Nintendo did get Doom 64, which, by all rights and means, is pretty much a Doom made exclusively for Nintendo. Like, it's entirely different to any of the other Doom games that have been either released or ported over to either the PS1, the Mega Drive, 32X, or whatever else it came out on at the time. So, you know, I guess at the same time, I'm not that surprised when you think that Doom 64 exists, but, you know, it's not the first thing you think of when, you know, Nintendo have been kind of pushing, like, this family-friendly angle since, you know, the Nintendo Wii came out.
Well, let's put it this way. The last time Doom was on Nintendo anything, and I tweeted about this, but might as well use it for commentary as well, was Doom 2, I believe, on the Game Boy Advance in 2002.
Oh, I never actually got to play that one. But then again, I don't think I saw much need to, considering I had the PC version.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my god, it's on a handheld, I gotta rush out and buy that.
I wonder if it came out on the original Game Boy as well. That must have been a treat.
Oh my god, the music would actually sound pretty good in like, what, 8-bit or whatever the music was for fucking Game Boy.
Oh, jeez. I'm sort of just imagining, like, all the classic Doom tracks kind of midified a la Super Mario Land, and...
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm kind of scared, and at the same time amused.
A little bit of rouse, too.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. And it's the first death. Okay, I can talk about how deaths are going to feature in this game. I'm planning on keeping all of the deaths, no matter how embarrassing they happen to be.
Okay.
Either because it shows off a hilarious death animation, or... it's just easier to edit around showing the death and then sort of cutting straight back to when the action is. Because, you know, you have to load from the last checkpoint, and, you know, you got all the loading screens as such to consider as well. It's just a bit of a ball ache to edit around, so I thought, you know what, no point in lying about it. You know, I'm a man. I can admit when I fuck up on occasion.
I love how you have to clarify that. It's just a Let's Play, mate.
It's more for Flaming Claw than anything else, to be honest with you.
We must placate him.
Because I know he's going to be watching this, and I know he's going to be judging every single action that I make, so, you know.
Oh, well,
just putting that to bed immediately.
The path to true enlightenment is learning not to give a fuck what Flame thinks, honestly, because he's always shit-posting and subtweeting, either on Twitter or in the fucking Twitch chat, so I just tell him to fuck off each time.
God damn. Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but, you know, I'd like to at least explain my reasonings for either keeping deaths in or anything else that I might end up doing.
That's cool, man, that's cool.
So at this point I'm trying to figure out where the hell this next door opens, so I thought, let's see, escape hatch? Nope. And that's where a lot of the exploration of the game comes in. Like, anytime you beat like an arena section, slowly but surely more areas get unlocked to you, and it's kind of how the original Dooms work, where, especially when you pick up key cards, like, suddenly this whole new world of possibilities opens up to you, and, like, all these areas that you couldn't get to before may have little secrets that you can unearth, and it really encourages you to kind of backtrack and see what's sort of hidden around the levels. I say this especially with the earlier levels, because levels 2 through 5, I believe, have opportunities to get weapons a stage or two earlier than you would do normally. Because normally when you pick up a new weapon, it's usually kind of right in front of you saying, "Oh, hi, I'm the rocket launcher, pick me up, please." And it's all like right in your way, so you can't really ignore it. And it's there flashing at you as well. But sometimes there are secrets that you can literally pick up these weapons earlier, and I think in Stage 3 I did miss that one, but if you can actually pick up the rocket launcher a bit earlier, if you wanted to on that stage. So there's another little drone there. Unfortunately, I was kind of sticking with the rocket launcher, so I didn't really see it fit to also pick up the charge burst. Of course, that is entirely forgetting that you can pick up both and switch between them. So a little bit of a minor error on my part. That's just me misremembering how, you know, some of the little mechanics work. But
I also think you're forgetting what's a shotgun and what's a rocket launcher, mate, because you very clearly just called it a rocket launcher there.
Yeah, that's me just talking about the rocket launcher earlier. Sorry about that.
That's fine, that's fine. I gotta say, I love the quote-unquote jump scares in this game, because it's always just like an imp, and you blow him away like the second he pops up.
I know, and I think that's probably the only, like, real jump scare that happens, and you can kind of see it coming if you're paying attention, because when you're picking up the key cards, you know, it's always off like a generic-looking marine, clearly in either red, blue or yellow. Yeah. Whereas with this guy, it's obviously those possessed things you've been fighting for the past stage and a half at this point. So, you know, you're kind of prepared for it.
Alright, now we can go through the yellow door. What adventures await us beyond the yellow door?
I believe at this point we go back into the outside world, but first of all, we got this beaut waiting for us. And that over there is a first aid kit. It's grafted to the wall, so you can visit it when you're low on health, and it will top up your health for you. And it's a one-use only thing, so you kind of want to save those whenever you can.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I love rapid-fire weapons.
Oh, this one especially is amazing, especially when you pick up the micro-rockets for it. We'll be picking those up a little later on, but it's probably one of my favorite sub-weapon enhancements, just because when you fully upgrade it, it lets you just fire mini-rockets endlessly, and it's the most incredible thing ever, because it's just like, you forget the primary fire exists, and you just use it as like this rapid-fire mini-rocket launcher almost. A bit like the Devastator in Duke Nukem 3D.
What exactly are you looking for here?
I'm mostly checking around for more little knickknacks that might be around, any secret passages I may have missed.
Oh,
I like to go back just to see if there's anything obvious that I might have missed out on, because whilst I say that I'm not actively going for secrets, I do like to maybe have another look around, see if there's anything I might have missed that maybe wasn't as obvious in like the heat of a battle, or maybe I was at the wrong angle to see it as clearly as you would have done the first passing.
Yeah. Oh, I have to say, like, when I got to this area and I was able to fully unload the heavy machine gun or whatever, it was beautiful. It was sublime. It was good.
I do kind of like how when you pick up a new weapon, most of the time you're kind of in an area where that weapon is ideal.
There you go.
So you can really play to the weapon's strength the first time you pick it up, and you can think, yeah, I can see how this works. I can see what enemies this is pretty effective against, and carry on your merry way knowing, like, what your new weapon is good against.
And not really sensing a strategy here to getting away from the enemies, except for Berserk mode!
Ah, yes, of course, now they're running away.
Ah!
Ah, have it! I can still remember vividly the first time I picked that up, and I'm just seeing my guy just punching dudes and then have him literally explode, or literally tearing a guy in half. It's special.
This is what Goku needs to do in Super. Just pick up a fucking Berserk power-up, and then Jiren ain't gonna be shit.
Maybe that's like maybe the bad version of Ultra Instinct, like maybe Frieza will get it and will start doing that, I don't know.
Oh, after the heavy machine gun and the shotgun... Oh, assault rifle, sorry. It's essentially the same fucking thing. The pistol's a bit piddly in comparison.
Yeah, you soon forget the pistol actually exists when you pick up like 3-4 weapons in. The pistol can be quite handy to begin with, just because obviously it has unlimited ammo, and it's a good weapon for kind of sniping dudes out, but eventually you get weapons that are better suited for the task, so eventually the pistol just becomes forgotten about, whilst you have like all these other beefy weapons that you picked up along the way. And I think they wanted to do that deliberately, just so, obviously, they can showcase, like, the meteor weapons in the game rather than your default gun.
God, man, you're going all kung fu with these glory kills. I love it.
I suppose, like, when you go for the legs, you do get, like, those more kind of Bruce Lee kind of takedowns where you sweep a dude by the legs and then punch them into the stratosphere. Pretty much. He said that with a lot more feeling than I would have done in this recording.
Thank you, thank you. I don't know why. I'm pretty hyped today because I've got a lot of work to do. So when I'm in productivity mode, that's when my ultra instinct kicks in.
Ultra productivity.
Yeah, like, you know when Goku fucking blocked Dispo and the other dude with the glorious, like, Wilfred Brimley mustache? I'm like that, but my fingers go over the keys subconsciously.
And then just suddenly there's this video, like, fully edited and rendered just like that.
Yeah, oh man, I wish I could do that in real life. That'd be great.
You would need a lot of cores in your processor to manage that.
Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
Oh, I see. Samuel's playing hardball now. Well, fella, I'm the guy with the shotgun, okay? Maybe you should acquiesce to my demands.
Although I have to admit, Samuel Hayden is actually a little bit of a badass in this game. When you're actually looking into the lore and how Dr. Samuel Hayden came to be the person that he is, he was initially human, I can tell you that much. His story is that he was working on the Lazarus project at the UAC and actually founded the UAC to explore the Argent fracture that appeared on Mars, which would eventually lead them into Hell and the resources within, which is the basis of this game. How basically they wanted to exploit Hell for its resources, and then the demons came. And adding that line to just about any story immediately makes it better. It's like, once upon a time there was a princess trapped in a castle, and then the demons came.
And then the princess was a demon. The end.
Oh, you say that and I remember, like, that webcomic from way back in the day. It's just like, I must defeat the demons! No, John, you are the demons. And then John was a zombie.
There you go. And that's pretty much the level over now, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, there's a little bit more trekking to go yet, but we're nearing the end. We get a little bit more plot to look forward to toward the end, so
yeah.
We have that to go through first. But anyway, back onto the topic of Samuel Hayden. Sometime after the Ardent Tower was made, he got this incurable form of brain cancer, and was basically told he only had a few months to live. So, you know, rather than finding a worthy successor to carry on his work and all that, this dude literally put his brain, piece by piece, into a 3-meter tall monstrosity, and basically made that his new body.
Huh.
And thanks to that, he's now basically immortal, is this huge hulking behemoth of metal, and is still the same snarky asshole I'd imagine him being when he was human.
Well, that's going to be a bit awkward to, you know, have a face-to-face meeting with.
Yeah, true that. And we do actually meet him face-to-face later on in the game, so we'll get to see exactly what that entails later on.
Nice.
Get fucked with your shield.
Ooh, I don't recall going down here.
What's this guy thinking he's gonna do, honestly?
I know.
He is one imp in a corridor. What did he think was going to happen?
Ooh, Praetor token gain. What's in here? Oh.
Ammo. Goodies. Yeah, you'll find those hidden away in some levels as well, and especially if you're out of chainsaw ammo, those things can be very handy in replenishing your weapon supply. Because apart from the chainsaw being able to obviously just dismember fools instantly, it does actually give you a heap load of ammo to use as well. So the chainsaw is one of those weapons that I guess you want to use conservatively, but at the same time, you could also have the option of using it to take on the biggest thing in the room at the present moment, or wait until all your ammo for like a couple of guns have run out, and then chainsaw somebody to get a bunch more ammo back. There's a two-way strategy you can kind of go with it, and it just makes the chainsaw so much fun to use just because you can think, well, I could just dismember this dude right now, or I can just save it for later, wait for like the next area or something like that, then just chainsaw a dude and get all my ammo back.
Aww.
It's another mini Doom guy. There are so many of these, and I believe for the most part they're either based on the weapons you pick up in the game or the enemies you encounter in the game. So they'll have like color scheme based on those. But there's a couple of like nods to other id games as well. Like I'm pretty sure there's a Vault Boy one as well that we end up finding eventually.
Oh, because it's like published by Bethesda and whatnot.
Exactly.
It's a gift.
A present for moi.
Ah, the Eye of Sauron.
It is so uncanny. Like, he swear to God, he just like, give me the goddamn ring, Frodo, I swear to Christ.
Power surge.
Ooh, tasty. Ah!
So I think the idea is that, like, that little black spot in the middle is meant to be like a fracture of, like, the Argent crystal or whatever. Or maybe, like, some kind of crystallized form of Argent energy. And I think that's just the idea of it. They contain it in a capsule, you can grab it, and you can either upgrade your maximum health, your maximum armor, or your maximum ammo.
Huh.
Most people who are perhaps not as fond of dying a delicious crunchy death would probably go for either the health or the armor first. Not so with me. I like to go for the ammo first, because if there's one thing I hate more than anything, it is running out of ammunition when I'm in the middle of a goddamn firefight.
Yeah.
But there is another advantage. The ammo pickups also increase the capacity of your chainsaw. And this is very important because some of the larger enemies actually take more than 3 units of fuel to instantly kill. So there are some enemies that require 5, and there are some that even require a maximum of 7. So having those is very handy for being able to pick and choose targets with the chainsaw more effectively, and obviously it comes with the other bonus of just having lots and lots of ammo.
Well, this is me with egg on my face. I didn't even realise you could like manually select those, so I went with health both times I got a bit of Argent energy.
No, you have the option. You can, like, dance between them, focus on one first and move on to another. Of course, you have to make sure you find all the Argent cells scattered around first.
And its resources because it was in mankind's best interest.
Look at this fucking vanquished looking asshole on the screen.
In this facility.
He does look kinda cool though, you have to admit.
Oh, you know.
But none of that matters now.
I don't know about you, but I've always considered Samuel Hayden to be like, he's like an asshole character, but it's in a very likable way. Like, you can't entirely bring yourself to hate him, even though the guy's an absolute scumbag saying, "We exploited Hell's resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. Herda, 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 her. Me likey hell, give me the demons and the unlimited energy, thank you."
Oh boy, it's time to head to the foundry.
Yes, this is Tom's quote-unquote favourite level, from what I can understand, at the very least.
It's a good level, it's just the spike in difficulty really caught me on the up, as it were.
It's pretty much all the Hell Knights doing, but we'll be able to relive Tom's PTSD with the Hell Knights in the third part. So hopefully you'll have a fully armed shotgun and a chainsaw ready for that, because coming up next is part 3.
Oh,
Stay tuned!
Yeah. Rip and tear!
Rip and tear!
Until it is done!